Bowser's Castle, the most menacing and intense track in every Mario Kart game. Sometimes, these are grand tributes to the King Koopa that really put your skills to the test, and other times, they're just eerie, empty corridors. That's why today, we're looking at every Bowser Castle in Mario Kart and ranking them from worthless to elite. Super Mario Kart is home to 3 Bowser Castles, so this ranking will be for the collective quality, which is unsurprisingly the lowest in the series. Bowser Castle 1 is incredibly simplistic, then the second 180s and is way too complex for this game's control scheme, offering many way too tight turns and split routes that straight up mislead you, and the third one is actually one of the best tracks in this game. Hopping between all these different paths is fun, this narrow part really forces you to time the thwomps right, and the split straightaways give you some space from the CPUs. It's a great layout. The only problem is, the controls are fucking terrible, and the bots find new ways to screw you over almost every time you play it, which makes it a hellish race, I guess as a Bowser Castle should be, but this is a bit extreme. These never stood a chance up against the rest of the series. Worthless. Mario Kart 64 makes Bowser's Royal Quarters pretty frickin' mediocre if I'm being honest. The music is more unsettling and eerie than outright threatening, which matches that of his other castles on the N64 and gives it a more unique feel compared to the rest of these entries. It takes you through the courtyard, complete with a fire-breathing Bowser statue, nice touch. It takes you up a spire, across rooftops, and through the castle itself, which gives you some nice variety, but the actual castle the course is named after just isn't anything special. There's really nothing that screams Bowser beyond these goofy portraits toward the end. Dude's a narcissist, fucking prove it. It's more of a thwomp castle than anything, and these bastards make it tough. The ones that follow you to the end of the hallway and slam down in your path are almost unavoidable, and the guys right behind it to block the doorway pretty much guarantee a hit somewhere. And that's a theme throughout this castle. You're gonna hit stuff. The driving mechanics are just not precise enough to maneuver this place properly. It feels a lot like the original in that way. Tight hallways and wide turns don't mix well, which makes it a challenge, yes, but you're more fighting the controls than the course itself, so worthless. Super Circuit offers the most Bowser Castles of any game in the series, with a whopping 4, and I certainly see some improvements. The first one is stupid basic, but the second picks things up a bit and has some decent lava sections. The third is equally fun to play, it looks the most unique, and has Kamek flying around at the end, and the fourth kinda just blends in with the rest of them, and only stands out because of the Mecha Koopas at the end, and the lava puddles you can manually jump over. They're all decently well designed, but once again suffer from the game's imprecision, so the more ambitious they try to be, the more walls you're hitting, and these things are like glue. Despite the weaker hardware though, I will say, these are a lot more visually pleasing than the Super Nintendo versions. Each one has a distinct background to make it feel a bit different, and you can actually see the turns as they're coming up, which is nice. I appreciate the extra effort, but it's not enough to make this lineup competitive with the upcoming tracks, so it's gotta go worthless. Now, you can unlock all the SNES Bowser Castles as well, but this video is focusing on just the original tracks, so those won't affect the ranking. Mario Kart Double Dash's Bowser Castle is the first one that you actually feel Bowser's presence in. From the start, you enter the castle through the dude's mouth, setting a standard early on, and toward the end, there's a massive Bowser statue that shoots fireballs onto the track that pose genuine threats and block off the little shortcut here. It's awesome. And the rest of the castle has way more iconic obstacles than before. Fire bars you have to weave through, jumpy fireballs, and thwomps that are well placed but actually avoidable, thanks to finally having good control over your kart. Drifting feels great and lets you make the turns you need, so even if this one's way more demanding in terms of layout, the challenge felt fair and the mistakes were actually my fault. It looks and plays like a Bowser Castle in the mainline Mario games, being full of obstacles and requiring mad skill to get through effectively, and I don't think there's a tier besides Elite for it. DS is the first handheld Mario Kart game to sport 3D visuals, and because of that, they were able to do much more than before. It starts off looking like the last games, but then you got this spinning room with 2 different routes depending on how fast you're moving, and this spiral ramp section that leads you up to the most infamous part of the track, the rolling bridge. It's super narrow and a pain to stay on, but doing so saves a ton of time, so it's a prime spot to snipe people and make them go all the way around this courtyard. Overall, it's a good portrayal of the castle. You got some unique gimmicks, a solid design, and a clean look, though I wish it shook things up more visually. It feels like a new Super Mario Bros. Castle turned track. It's deserving of a middle spot for sure. This might be a hot take, but Mario Kart Wii's Bowser Castle was a little underwhelming. It's still a really good track for the game, but where other Bowser Castles experiment and offer something new, this one's basically a souped up version of Double Dashes. It starts out almost the exact same. Sure, you fly off a bridge first, but you enter the castle through an identical looking Bowser head, and it's even got the same split paths as before. They're just wavy now. Ooh. The main gimmick to this one is a giant Bowser statue that shoots fireballs down the center of the driving lane. Now, which one does that sound like? It's a bit unique in that you have to go up a couple half pipes to avoid them, but they're always shot in the same trajectory, so it's wildly predictable. At least the GameCube one moved from side to side and served to occasionally block a shortcut. This is more spectacle than substance. Now, objectively, yes, it's an improved version of the older one, and it's still a super fun track to play, but the lack of innovation makes me hesitant to give it elite, so I'll put it in still amazing tier. Bowser's real estate venture in Mario Kart 7 feels very generic and safe. It really tries to work in these new gliding and water sections, to its own detriment. While it's cool to have lava underwater, it feels a bit unnecessary, and the glider section at the end is a straight shot to the castle with no player interaction needed. I think the castle interior is well decorated, and everything drives pretty nicely thanks to Mario Kart 7's very polished gameplay, but there's no aspect of it that makes it memorable. If all of these castles were made for the same hardware, I'm confident this would be one of the worst ones. Most if not all of the SNES and GBA track remakes blow this out of the water section that doesn't belong here, so it deserves to be in worthless tier. Mario Kart Arcade GP and GP DX both feature two Bowser-themed tracks, Bowser's Castle and Castle Wall, both of which actually kinda slap. I know they're arcade tracks and the designs are nothing special, but some of the visuals are gorgeous. You get a sweet-looking exterior, a giant hologram Kamek, a Bob-omb factory with King Bob-omb chilling on the sidelines. It's got some sick ideas. These are the best-looking tracks to come out of these arcade games, and given what they had to work with, they exceeded my expectations, so I'll give them credit alongside the Wii and DS versions. Mario Kart 8's Bowser Castle is fucking rad, no better way to put it. It's got the most impactful Bowser monument in the series. He slams his fist into either side of the track, causes the entire thing to wobble, and flattens anything in the way. This takes what the GameCube and Wii entries did and makes Bowser feel even more involved and more powerful. And the freaking music, oh my god, it does not need to rock out this much, bro cooked. And that energy bleeds into the track design too. It feels heavy metal when you're driving along. The lasers shooting at you, the fire bars, the spike pendulums, you're weaving through danger and living on the edge like never before, and it feels badass. It tops every previous iteration and jumps straight up to elite tier. Mario Kart World's take on Bowser's Castle is the best one in terms of pure design, but surprisingly, I don't think it's creatively or even visually the best one. We've seen these massive Bowser statues continue to outdo themselves throughout the series, and this one doesn't even try to do that. There is a part where you drive through a statue's mouth and the sharp teeth are sorta intimidating, but there's no real danger like Bowser's previous monuments to himself. Looking past that though, this is the most fun Bowser Castle to explore. You can take this chain at the start to an upper route where you ride along the roof, or you can take this base route through the halls, or you can take this insane shortcut through this opening section that is the perfect balance of risk and reward. The glider segment through a lava fall and into this storm is supposed to be a spectacle moment, but it's honestly kinda boring. I'd much rather see the scale of this castle and not generic lava. But this next part has even more shortcuts than the beginning. Hopping off the edge here lets you wall ride for a second, then take a leap of faith all the way over here, cutting off another huge part of the track, and if you're brave enough, you can do more shenanigans to cut off yet another turn. There are so many satisfying shortcuts to master in this one, and that alone puts this up into elite tier for me. And there you have it.